What is up, everybody? It is your boy King of Games 80 of King's Nation. We're here to discuss a little topic. As you guys can see by the title, I'm talking about Gundam Builder Diver. Hang on, I messed up the name. Gundam Build Divers. Now, Gundam Build Divers is, from what I looked up, is the newest installment of Gundam series, and I wanted to get my thoughts out to it. And before I do that, let's get this weather out. That's just annoying. So, guys, I've watched some of the Gundam series. Now, I'm not a big fan of them, even though I like most of what I've seen, pretty much. There's only one Gundam series I did not really like, and that was Gundam Unicorn. But I did like Gundam Seed Destiny, Gundam Blood Orphans, and I believe there was another one. Gundam, what was it? I'm trying to think. I can't remember. It was another Gundam series, pretty much, where there was like 4 different Gundams. They were trying to stop all war conflicts of the world's nations, and no one else knew what a Gundam was. They didn't like understand it. They were just building. They were like on the verge of building like new robots, or giant robots, you can say. And then they never heard of these Gundams, so they're horribly outmatched. And I've seen Divers not all the way through, on like episode 12, and as I'm watching this, I've kind of see where the direction of this is going so far. I know there's like another like 12 more episodes that I have to get to, but I just wanted to give out my thoughts. This is a regular review. First of all, I want to say I do like Gundam Builder, or Gundam Build Divers. I really do. It's not my favorite, but I do like it. So, from what I've gathered from any of the Gundams I've seen, plus I think maybe some AVs, some anime music videos, Gundam's always surrounded pretty much in war, and there's always that one pilot that will end up getting a Gundam, and it's a unique machine compared to whatever the enemy or the allies are using. And I thought, okay, so that makes me believe, Gundam, this robot in particular, is special. Then, of course, there will have to be a rival, and that rival will get a Gundam or a different robot that is just as powerful or is just as good as the protagonist's Gundam. And what I've also gathered is that if you have a generic-looking robot in an army going against a unique-looking robot like a Gundam, anti-protagonist, the protagonist, or the team of anyone that has a unique looking Gundam, like it has its own name and everything, you're pretty much losing. Like, that's what I've gathered. So, seeing all that, especially with Unicorn, Blood Orphans, Destiny, Sea Destiny, probably saying the last 2 wrong, but and then going over to Divers. When I first started watching Divers, I thought, oh, okay, they're in this little gaming convention. I see. He spots the head of a Gundam. It looks like it was covered up or being blocked by another machine, but like I didn't know everyone didn't notice it but him. So I thought like that Gundam was gonna come alive, attack for whatever reason. The convention ruin it. Like they're unleashing like a whole new Gundam or something. They're gonna get stealing, and he ends up piloting it. That's why I thought it was gonna go down. But then once I saw it was like a concert for, I was like, oh, okay, that Gundam probably is just a statue. That robot's a statue. It's not really a Gundam or a robot. And I was like, okay. So I was like, maybe from what I'm seeing, he's watching like a live battle. So I thought somewhere is that this takes place instead of war. It's going to be like a tournament, like not a convention, but like duel, like you're dueling with Gundams. You are the pilot and you're dueling, like kind of like a arena type of style. That's how I thought it was going, but actually no, it turns out to be a video game. And I was like, oh, okay, so is he gonna have his unique Gundam, and it's gonna be, like, how do you get that? People are gonna want his like schematics. And no, it doesn't go that. Turns out that this Gundam or Gun Plushie or whatever, Gunpla is what it's called. I believe they call their stuff. Everyone pretty much has a Gundam. Everyone can go out, get the kits, which is cool because in the real world we actually do have like the models and we can build them. But this anime takes that step forward, and you can scan your model and it gets its data. Everything that gets scanned gets transferred to the actual game, and the game will make an actual Gundam for you to pilot. And all this is in virtual reality. And I thought, that sounds really, really cool. But I had mixed feelings on it because I'm so used to having all this conflict, this war. The dude behind the mask was always a dude with a mask. I picked that up. It's always a dude with a mask in these series. He's always like the villain that's misunderstood, or he's going to be a villain, whatever. It's weird. So I was like, okay, who's gonna be the dude with the mask? Who is he gonna be? I was thinking like, okay, what conflict that can take place in a video game? It was very interesting, but also I felt like it kind of brought down the aspect of this boy has a Gundam and no one else has a Gundam. Like, Gundams to me was supposed to be like unique in their own individual series. It's not like just like anyone can get one. Only like a select few you will see in like the show. Like, what was his name? Orca in Blood Orphans? Or Magi? I forget the dude who piloted the King Rick's Gundam. Is what I believe that's what they called it. So it was just like, I don't know how I felt about it. I felt like it wasn't as unique. I think it's very cool you can pick, I guess, kind of still. I have mixed feelings on it, but it brings a type of style of you have to build it correctly. You have to build the models perfectly, and depending on how you build it, it affects its performance in the actual game. And I thought that was really cool that the scanners actually picked that up so well. If you mess up on a jet boost, it's gonna be messed up in the actual game. I enjoy that. I like that mechanic that they had, that they thought it out that much. Now, I'm not someone who can like look at every detail and like nitpick. Sometimes I can, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just watch it and I see what I like and I talk about what I like in a show, and sometimes I talk about what things I don't like in a show. And I like the combat. I do, but it's really cool. Again, when it came to like what was the big conflict? What was like the problem with this new Gundam series that has come out, that I was having a hard time kind of like didn't really care what was going on, just cared about the fights in a sense. And I realized that this is all just takes place in a game, so no one actually is getting hurt. I was wondering if the Gundam that the person uses blows up, if it gets destroyed, because a Gundam is gonna get destroyed in a Gundam fight somehow. I was wondering do they have to replace it? Do they have to like get a whole new model? Like, that's like the thing will scan and go, oh, that Gundam was destroyed here, I have to get a new one. I was wondering about that, and from what I can see from the episodes I've seen, like that's 1 through 12, that's not the case. And I think that would have been a little more interesting to see, because then there's a true bond with Gundam, with the machine you make, in a sense. If you guys know what I mean, because you take the time to build it. It's not really easy to build these models. I've seen them being built like in real life and kind of how the show was doing. I don't think I could do that. I would want to. I'm going to try one day eventually, but they're expensive, so I was going to have to wait. So that's not the case. I was like, oh, I mean, that's kind of a little disappointing. But I do like that, you can like build your Gundam and it be unique in your own way. Like, just because you get that model set doesn't mean you can't change out the parts, can't change the color of it. And I think that was really, really cool. And I do appreciate that they took that time to do that and flushed out this Gundam game, because the series could have gone really bad for me, as if they didn't explain this virtual reality game, like all the modes to it. I would have been mad if it was just like Gundam battle fights or a tourney style, something like that. Now I know a tournament style arc might be coming up after they stop this dude who's cheating, and I'll get into that later, because the dude wants to be number one. So I don't think my predictions. I don't think they would leave that thing out. Like have their team do a tournament where he becomes the champ because he wants to be the champ. So I don't know if they're gonna leave that out or they're gonna wait for another season. I don't know if it's gonna continue on later in a different mark like Gundam Divers Part Two or Destiny Divers, something like that. I don't know. So it was interesting, but when they did the conflict, what's happening in this 1 through 12 episode is that there's people that are cheating. They're using this code, this patch, mod, whatever you want to call it, that actually boosts their Gundam stats past their limits, which makes them even stronger. And by doing so, it's affecting their game. And I think that's pretty cool. And they added that, with these cheats and with these it's causing the game to glitch out. It's causing damage to their actual game. And the developers can't figure out who's doing it or can't pinpoint it or can't even fix it because this thing is so complex, I guess. Which I kind of fear. I was like, but again, like the only real loss, even if the characters, like, I don't know if the characters win or lose yet. Obviously, I believe they win, but I've been halfway to this battle. But I feel like even though this is like this game is in danger, so either way, if they win, then their game's safe. But if they lose this major battle that's happening currently, only the game really like gets messed up and destroyed. And it's not like they can't recreate the game again. And yes, it will take time, but at least I believe they could do it faster than what it took for the first time for it to come out, because you guys know everything. You guys should have saved data or like a starting point, like the game somewhere, and just redo it that way. So I feel like there's really no consequences as of right now, because it's not like SAO where if you die in the game, you die in real life. Once a Gundam they get shot, stabbed, they just lose. I don't know specifically if they go to the main lobby. I don't know where they respawn at, or they just get logged out of the game. But I feel like they can just reload and then like fix their Gundam app, get a new one. So that was cool. But with this battle, I do like how they kind of made this battle like, okay, there has to be a winner, and there's going to be, because they go into this like low level server where high players can't go, but the champion knows the developers, and the developers are working with the champion. So they're like, we can't do anything about it, but you guys can, like, figure out who's doing this so we can kick them from the game. Like, we can solve this mystery, this problem. So they they give access to this newbie or first time starters server, and they all go in, all the champions, all the high levels, they go and they close everything but the server. So even if they blow up, they can't return with another Gundam. They have that's it, they're done. So it's almost like dodgeball. You hit, you're out, but there's no coming back. So I was like, okay, I see how that works. And I was like, okay, I see this. This is interesting. You see characters using these cheats, so you wouldn't expect them to cheat, but they end up doing so. You see sometimes not everyone is complete jerk and just wants to win, and they just don't care about the game. You actually see people who feel like they were pressured into using the code. There was a cool twist, but you kind of twist what was coming eventually. So it wasn't like all that shocker when one of the teams betrays the other like the whole team. And so it was like, oh no, like I can't believe like this person did that. Like, how could she? It's a she, by the way. I can't do spoilers in this, but my bad. So it was interesting. I something up with the main character because he has this reflex that kicks in randomly, but like in the most important times. And it's like he's doing things like he shouldn't be able to dodge the things that he dodges. And I was like, oh, okay, so there's something unique about him. And it wasn't just in the game. He's also done that in the real world too. When he had a soccer match, he moved incredibly fast and no one really saw it. And somehow that's applying in the game. So it's very interesting that certain aspects also apply in the game from the real world. You know, well, it's interesting. It's something to it's something to get used to in a sense. I know I showed off these things before. I'm gonna show them off again in another video. But you know, you guys can just. Anyways, so back to it. You know, I think it's interesting. It really is. Things I would like to see in a Gundam, and if you guys see this, let me know if there is something like a Dragon Gundam, because I think that would be really cool. Like a something that looks like Drago from Bakugan, like in that sense where he's two-legged, two-armed, you know, with wings. I think that would be really cool to have like a Dragon Gundam. I might have to design my very own. That would take work because I'm not that good of a draw artist yet. Working on it, but you know how things go. Anyways, back to the thing. This also relates to Minecraft because I have to ask you guys a question. If you guys see this and you are like a massive Minecraft builder or someone who knows how to build incredible things, I want to know, like, is there a way to build a Gundam in Minecraft? I'm not talking about pixel art. I'm talking about like how I built this, or this house, how I build the Venator class ship. If you guys are wondering why it's black and red, I changed it to black and red because I pull in it is. Same thing with the AT-AT. You know, I want, like, I don't care how tall it is, you know, I'll make it work. I don't care if there's a video out there that's a tutorial that's like 16 hours. I'll watch it if I have to. But that's something I really want be cool to build into this world, because I'm kind of taking ideas off of everybody all these YouTubers I've seen in their tutorials, and that's what they're there for, so we can like build it in our world. So I hope that people don't get too frustrated that I'm just building things off of what I've seen on YouTube. Mostly the houses I build is my stuff, but like the ship that's being built, the AT-AT, the thing, that's someone else's work. But I build it, but not my idea. So anyways, back to what I was saying. I got off track. That's my bad. I think it's very interesting it works how the series is progressing, though I do feel like it lacks like tension because this is all a game. They're not actually getting hurt. These kids are not actually dying. I think it would be incredibly crazy if this was a tournament style of like these were actual Gundams and like kids were playing it and they were getting hurt. Like it would get dark. I think that would make the series a lot darker, especially if this was war. Like they did Blood Orphans, and Blood Orphans, there was essentially a bunch of kids, you know, in the Gundams or in the robots in the Gundams, and just being killed and sometimes being slaughtered, sometimes, you know, them slaughtering other people. It's just, yeah, that was a little dark, you know. So to have that, I think that would have been interesting. Yeah, but I am so far enjoying the show. It hasn't like hooked me into a point where I have to keep watching after episode. It hasn't gotten to me on that level. So there's that. But overall, I enjoy it very much so far. Though I gave you guys my complaints, I have given you how cool I think the idea is. I wish they could build a Gundam game kind of like that in the real world. Or just have a Xbox Gundam game where you control your Gundam. You know, I think that'd be really cool, and if it was done right, I would play the shit out of that game, guys. I really would. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah, I think that wraps this video up, guys. I appreciate you guys' time. I know I'm not really doing anything. You just sitting there listening. But yeah, I enjoy it. I have my little tweaks I would make. I would, you know, do other things, but it's cool to see all these other Gundams being shown off from other series. Which reminds me, I'm sorry about that, guys, but one last thing before I go. I just remembered that all the other Gundams are kind of tied into this Build or Dive Gundam series, but everything's been like it's been an anime. So like Blood Orphans is anime to them, Seed and Destiny is anime to them. The OG one, I think it was like 00, like 007, that Gundam, or 011. it's an anime to them and their models based off, and that's where they're getting their ideas from. It's cool, but I don't know if it ties into the actual like storyline. I don't know if Gundam has like a continuation story. Like I know C Destiny or Destiny had the Calamity War, and then Destiny scene that kind of continued off, and they were talking about the Calamity War, or that was Blood Orphan. I can't remember, but if Blood Orphan was talking about war, I don't remember if they're talking about like the Calamity Wars. Like, I don't know what are they referring to. What war? Like, does each Gundam live in their own separate like dimension, their own thing? Like they're not tied into one another. Because I don't think so from what I've seen. Because sometimes they don't know what a Gundam is, and I feel like by now everyone should know what a Gundam is. So maybe you guys can, if you guys, whoever sees this video and sees this, I'm talking about Gundam. Maybe you guys can help me about it. Help me get more involved in the show because I want to get more involved and watch more Gundam. If it is a continuing series, like overall, please like let me know like what order should I watch them in instead of randomly finding them and watching them. But it's cool to saw the Destiny Seed Gundam and the original Gundam, and I think other mentions of Seed and Destiny. I really like those two so far. And again, I haven't really watched every Gundam. I haven't watched like I don't think I've watched even 10 Gundam series. I've like I told you guys, it's Blood Orphan, Unicorn, Seed, Destiny, and then Seed. I can't remember the name too. Yeah, so like I think 5 at most. All right, guys. And one I watched when I was little, but I can't find it. I don't remember what it was called. All right, guys, that's truly it. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch you guys later on the flip side. Until next time, stay crazy, stay insane, and stay safe out there, guys. And this has been your boy King Games Eddie of King's Nation on Minecraft, talking about Gundam Builder. No, Gundam. I'm gonna mess this name up every time. Gundam Build Drivers. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later. But until then, I'm out. Thanks for